info is in chapter 7. Is that on? Yeah. Okay, so standard form. Okay, standard form. This is great. All right, so AX plus BY equals C, whereas A implies a natural number and B and C imply integers. So I guess you have to know what a natural number is, and you have to know what an integer is. An integer is a whole number, either positive or negative, and it does include 0. Okay? A natural number does not include 0. It only includes the positive integers. So it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Things that come up in nature. You don't see a lot of negatives in nature. We create negatives to understand nature, but nature is all positive. It's all creation.
Only includes a 0?
So natural numbers do not include 0. Do not include 0. Okay? So anything in front of x would be a positive 1, a positive 2, a positive 3. No negatives in front of the x. Okay? And obviously, any number, whole number, could be in front of the y or as the c. So b and c can be any whole number. Okay? So, there's a certain way I like to graph these. Okay? And I call it like alien hand, because at the time I created this, everybody was coming into class with those alien drinks from the fair. And you know, I was looking around, and that's what I saw, everybody drinking out of alien cups, you know, with the alien heads and stuff. I don't know if you remember that back in the fair day, back in like 99 and 2000. But it was really popular back then. So I called it the alien hand. Basically what it means is finding the x and y intercepts. Okay? I'm finding the x and y intercepts. So, when I'm graphing standard form, I'm finding the x and y intercepts. What does that mean? Well, let's graph one, and I'll show you what I mean. So, I have 3x plus 4y equals 12. I just make it simple, right? 3 and 4 both go into 12. It's really nice. It's neat, and it'll be real fun and easy. Okay? So, what I do here is I plug in the easiest number I can plug in for x and find y. So what's the easiest number you can plug into x to make this a really nice, neat, easy equation? 1 seems easy, but there's an easier one.
0.
0. Yeah, well, what does 0 do? It gets rid of it, right? So when I plug in 0, right, for x, what happens, and this is where the whole alien hand came in, this alien hand would come up and take it away. Okay, and it would just go, okay, what's 4y equals 12? So what's y? 3. Simple, right? So what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of this. And I'm saying, hey, what is y? It's 3. It's simple. Duh. Okay? As Charlie Sheen would say, duh, winning. Okay? So, alright, so now we go to the next one. And we say, okay, I'm going to plug in a 0 for y. Okay? And what happens is this y goes away. So what's 3x equal 12? Well, what's x?
4.
4. Okay? So, real simple, right? I mean, it's simple. And how many points do I have now? 2. And how many points do you need to draw a line? We're dead. Except for we got to graph them. Okay? Okay, so. Oh, and this reminds me. Something I didn't teach about the quadrant plane. My bad. Okay, so I graphed these, right? I graphed these, and what do I got? I've got 0, 3 in the y direction, right? So I'm going to make that red. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got 4 in the x direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 points, so I have a line. Here's a trick question for you. What quadrant is this one in?
2.
No.
Oh, the number, you point to the number 4?
Yeah, what quadrant is this point in? 4, 0. What quadrant is this point in?
4. Oh, it's between.
And the key question here was this is a trick question.
So it's in 1.
No.
4.
No.
It's not in 1.
There you go.
It's on the line.
Because it's on the line. Okay?
Isn't that what I said? Between 1 and 4, I guess.
Between it, yeah. I just needed you to, get there. I was trying to get you guys to get there. It's a real simple concept once you get it, right? It can't be in a quadrant or between the line. If it's on the line, it's not in a quadrant. And that's why when we did the quadrants, we did plus or minus. Remember, 0 is neither plus or minus, right? So it can't be in a quadrant if it's not plus or minus. Okay? So just remember that. Kind of throw that into your notes. And so we graphed this. That was a pretty easy graph, right? Yeah. Could we make it harder? Sure. But how much harder could it be? Honestly, how much harder could it be? Not really harder. Because I could say, okay, how about this? 2x minus 5y equals, I don't know, 9. Okay? It's about as hard as it gets. And it's still as easy to graph. Okay? So, what do we plug in for x? 0, right? And if we plug in a 0 for x, then what is y? Just say the easy term. 9 divided by negative 5. Right? 9 divided by negative 5. That's what y would be, right? Sure. Now, is that an improper fraction? Yes. Do we need to change it? Probably. But at least it's quick and easy. It's just, bam, this under this every time.
Is that a slope now?
No. Just because it's a fraction, it's a very common thought. It's because, oh, it's a fraction, it's a slope. No, only slopes are m's. This is a y value. Okay? So it is where it crosses the y-axis. Right? At what point? Well, 5 goes into 9 how many times?
1.
Once. So negative 1, and how many left over? 4/5. Right? It's just simple math. Okay, now let's do the bottom one. And we'll do it in green. We'll throw in a 0 for y. But remember, this is as hard as it gets, so it should be a little difficult right now. Okay? But I'm trying to show that it's really not that bad. Because when you put in a 0 for y, what happens? You get 2x equals 9. X equals what? 9 over 2. Boom. Every time. Okay? Now, what does that equal? Well, 2 goes into 9 how many times? 4. With 1 left over the 2. So now I got to graph those two. You're like, well, how do I graph 1 5/4? And how do I graph 4.5? Well, it's easy. Okay? We just do it like we would anything. Draw your coordinate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, the blue one. 0 in the x direction, -1 in the y direction, and 4/5. So that's not quite 2, right? And that's all you do. You go to almost not quite 2. You can't be exact. And that's why we use math and not our graphs to figure out the next stuff we're going to talk about. Okay? Alright? So, how do I graph the next one? The next point. And it's the green point. So, I just go, okay, well I go 4.5. So that would have been 5, right? So I go to right there. Halfway to 5. Right? That's 4.5. So I have this point, I have that point, and I connect them. And that's my line. Done. Okay? So, real simple. Okay? Real complicated, but real simple. Plug in zeros for x's and zeros for y. Solve. It's always this over that, for whatever one it is. Now, it might come out nice and neat, 3 and 4. It might come out nice and nasty, -1 and 4/5, 4.5. Right? But nevertheless, it's easy to graph. Question? All right. Okay, let's get to the hard part.